Hi, I'm Tom Henriksen from the DevOps Online Summit. Today, I'm joined by Bryan Finster, a software engineer and value stream architect. Now, Bryan is a familiar face here at the DevOps Online Summit, but Bryan, if there's maybe some new people here, just introduce yourself so everyone knows who you are.
Like you said, I'm Bryan Finster. I'm currently working for PlatformOne for the U.S. Air Force after a 19-year stint at Walmart. And at Walmart, I led the DevOps Dojo, and at PlatformOne, I'm doing all sorts of things to try to see how we at PlatformOne can make the entire Department of Defense much more nimble.
Yes, more nimble. So, as you mentioned, DevOps Dojos, you're here to talk to us about that today, Bryan. But to kind of start us off, what is a DevOps Dojo?
Well, basically, the dojos are something that was started at Target and have been spreading across the industry, and it's an immersive learning experience where you bring teams in to help the team learn some new skill that they want to do. At Walmart, that was all focused around continuous delivery. Other dojos will be, how do we move into the cloud, or they'll have multiple offerings and just, what is the current thing the team wants to work on. It's I said it's immersive, it's very focused. You're looking at generally 6 to 8 week engagement full time with an entire team as that team learns and grows together. I'll say that it's not something that you sign up teams that you think are struggling and say, oh, you need to go to remedial training. This is something where this is advanced learning on some topic. Mm-hmm. So it's, they're very effective, very, very effective. We've always seen dramatic improvements in all the dojo engagements, in the ones I've been involved with and also reported by the dojos.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine if you put the wrong team, like you mentioned, it can go awry, right?
Yeah, you really have to have a team that's not being voluntold, right? I mean, they really have to be excited about, hey, we're going to learn new things.
Yeah.
Right? And they have a purpose and a goal, and, they're trying to do something. It's not just random. Mm-hmm. It's very expensive, so you really have to have, it will absolutely fail if a team is told they have to go to the dojo.
I could see that. Yes. So Bryan, tell us what are the main benefits that we would experience of a team coming out of a dojo?
Well, from the experience that I've had, there's two benefits. One is for the company, of course, right? I mean, you come in with a team that they want to improve, but they don't necessarily know how, right? And in our case, we're focusing on CD, and we're looking at their delivery metrics, and you'll see like a dramatic increase in throughput, like double the throughput. Wow. You'll see testing get better. You'll see delivery get more stable. That will get better. You'll see everything gets better. But more importantly to us, the team's morale gets better. Because they come in and they know they want to fix things. They don't know how. They might be struggling on some things. They might be frustrated about some things too.
Yeah.
And they just don't know how to fix it. And we work with that team and daily, all the time, and show them, here's some things we can try to get that done, and basically teach them how to self-improve. You're not teaching them how to do a thing, you're teaching them how to self-improve.
Yeah.
And the teams come out happier. We've seen teams come out just swaggering that they know they're good.
That's awesome.
And the goal we had at the Walmart Dojo is we wanted every team to be the team we wanted to work on so we could disband the dojo.
Yes. Work yourself out of a job.
Yeah, and I think that's really key, right? Anything like that, your goal, you have to be, the goal is making things so much better that we don't have to be around anymore.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to build the perverse incentive, oh, you need us, you desperately need us. And because then you start getting into an Ivy Tower thing where people start doling out information so that they feel important.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not where you want to be.
No. So you mentioned you did this at Walmart, Bryan. So tell us kind of how can we get this set up? What are the steps, or what are maybe the first steps we would go about to bring that about?
Well, honestly, the way that we did it was we found mentors outside of Walmart. We started off with, I knew about Target. I'd seen Target talking about their dojos. at DevOps Enterprise Summit. Now, of course, I couldn't use Target for a mentor for obvious reasons.
Yes.
But Verizon used Target for a mentor, and Verizon was one of our vendors, so I just used Verizon as our mentor, right?
Very good.
And Target and Verizon were both working with Dojo and Co., which really kind of pioneered some of this stuff. I highly recommend talking to those guys. They're very open about things. They wrote a book. I don't have the book off the top of my head. I apologize, but Dojo and Co. Those guys really know their stuff and they're passionate about this. But we found mentors. We joined the Dojo Consortium, which broadened the breadth of our mentors. So we were talking with Capital One and John Deere and all these other companies about what works, what doesn't work, what to avoid to jumpstart those things. But you also need people. You need to find those people in your organization who actually know what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Or you need to hire the talent. I talked to one dojo, and they hired, like a chief engineer from ThoughtWorks to be that catalyst to show everybody else what needed to get done, right? But it's way more than agile coaching. A lot of agile coaching is focused on process. You've got to have people that can sit down next to somebody and say, okay, well, this is how we write this test better. This is how we decompose work better. And also the softer side that happens when you're dealing with agile coaching. This is how we do a retrospective better.
Yeah.
You need people who understand how to do that and are passionate about helping those teams and not directing the teams, but guiding, facilitating, mentoring.
Yeah. Yeah. So once you get those mentors, then they can kind of help lead you along that road. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And then hopefully grow more mentors. One of the things we were pioneering at the Walmart Dojo was, like I said, dojos, it's a one-on-one experience. You're bringing in one or two people to come work with a team for 6 to 8 weeks, which, depending on the size of your organization, may not scale very well. I know it didn't scale well at Walmart, but it's critical for, number one, teaching us how to interact with teams better, finding out what common issues we were having inside Walmart. But the thing that we were doing was we need to scale horizontally, right? We need to grow the number of people within the organization that know how to help other teams. And one of the things we were working on was using Gary Groover's Engineering the Digital Transformation coursework to set a context. This is what we're actually trying to do. Let's demystify this DevOps thing, because we honestly didn't talk much about DevOps. We talked about delivery.
Yeah.
Let's demystify what this looks like. Let's take all the buzzwords out of it. Here's what we're trying to get done, right? In the nuts and bolts real world way. And then let's teach you how to do what we do by partnering with you while you go help a team, right? And our initial pilots of that before I left Walmart were showing a lot of great promise, and I think that's got legs. They're still working on that right now.
Yeah.
But that's really it, is how do you broaden the group of people inside your organization that know how to do it and care about the organization, because that's where they work and live.
Yeah, that's so important to have them care and concern about the well-being of their team and then other teams within the organization.
Well, that's something you can't buy. That's something you can't consult for.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
not a magic wand.
Yeah, it's hard work, and you have to be really invested to get it done correctly. And you have to have people who have skin in the game. Yeah.
So now, Bryan, we're dealing in interesting times here. Where this is during the pandemic, we're kind of coming out of it, but I'm guessing you dealt with this challenge a bit of doing a dojo in a virtual world. So tell us how do we do it, and what are some of the challenges to that?
We were actually right in the middle of an engagement when the office shut down. They sent us home. Yeah. Right. And so we just kept it going. Right. We had to learn how to communicate better on Zoom. It's basically, you've got to just make sure you're talking all the time, right? You have to find out for the specific group what works best for communication. But it's all about we need to work closely as a team to get this done. The thing that we focused on as the main tool for change was continuous integration, the discipline of how do we work as a team around integrating code very frequently.
Yeah.
Right? And that takes a lot of teamwork and discipline. And we find ways to communicate to get that done. We'd use mob programming. We'd just have Zooms up where people could come and talk when they needed to, or whatever it took.
Yeah.
I think that the worst thing you can do is just say, okay, well, here's your work, and then step away. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not how teams work anyway, not when they're co-located. Not good teams. Good teams will just say, here's my task list for the day, right? It's always a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
And so you try to find the best way in whatever context you're working in to get that collaboration. And when you're in a dojo engagement, it's got to be really fast. And speaking of speed, the thing that you'll find that's very common with these dojo engagements is the 2.5 day hyper sprint.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to deliver something every 2.5 days.
2.5 days, yeah.
And then we're going to have a retrospective to figure out either why we couldn't, right? What do we need to fix? Or what did we do well? How do we double down on that so we can deliver in 2 days or 1.5 days, right?
Yeah.
It's really trying to break down that batch size, because shrinking batch size is the key to improvement.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's probably, because the other thing we want to talk about is some of the pitfalls. And I'm guessing in a dojo, that's probably, as you're decomposing work smaller, that's probably one of the big pitfalls that you run into.
Oh,
right?
well, you expect to fail.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is that the Agile Industrial Complex has taught everybody that 2 to 4 week sprints, right?
Yep.
And then if you suggest a 1 week sprint, people flip their lids like, we can never get anything done in 1 week. Well, you can't get anything done in 2 weeks. You can get a lot more done in 1 week followed by another week, right?
Yeah.
But you get even more done in 2.5 days. And ultimately, when you finally reach the nirvana of Kanban through a CD pipeline, you can get a crap ton done, right?
Yeah.
But it's you say, okay, well, time boxing those iterations and say we have 2.5 days. Now, how do we break it down? Well, you have to solve so many problems. You have to learn how to really pull all the uncertainty out of the work.
Yeah.
To get that done. And then it just becomes a habit, and I tell people that if you can't get a user story done in 2 days, you've got way too much uncertainty in it anyway. I've been doing this job as a software engineer for 25 years, and I can't estimate more than 3, and I dare anybody else to estimate more than 3. They're just fooling themselves, right? So if you can't say that this will take us 2 days or less as a team, consensus, this will take us 2 days or less, you've got too much uncertainty, go keep refining.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots to learn when a team, I'm guessing, starts into that dojo, and that's
but they have 6 weeks. You see dramatic improvement in 6 weeks, right? Just because of that focus. We need to shrink our batch size. We need to deliver. So focus is on delivery and not on process. People would ask us, well, do you prefer Scrum or Kanban? I said, I prefer delivery.
Yeah.
We never cared. We don't care, right? It's whatever process works best for this team in this context to meet what we're trying to do for delivery.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So good. Bryan, you've shared a lot. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I think pitfalls, right? I think it's really important to understand the anti-patterns.
Yeah.
There's been, stories of dojos being spun up by leadership as a way to be like a boiler room. We have some critical stuff to get done. We'll create a dojo and throw them into that and they'll get it done faster. No, that's not what those are for. These are learning experiences, right? The expectation is that they're going to come in and they're going to slow down and they're going to leave faster, right? But they're learning using their work to get it done instead of some contrived example or somebody else's work. They're using their work to learn how to do their work better.
Yeah, right? That's good. That's important.
It's very important. Another anti-pattern I've seen is saying, oh, well, we don't have enough coaches. So what we'll do is we want to get all the teams done. So we'll give each coach 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah.
No, because this is a very intense process. And really one person is not enough. You need at least 1.5 people per team to really drive this home.
Yeah.
because it's just intense when it's being done correctly,
Mm-hmm.
right? In a good way,
Yeah.
right? Expecting everybody to succeed on day one is a complete failure, right? We expect failure. In
Yeah.
fact, if you're doing agile delivery correctly, failure is the default,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
We're always wrong. If we don't have that in our head, we're
Mm-hmm.
doing it wrong. So there's lots of ways to do it wrong, right?
Yeah.
But it comes down to the goals. Our goal is to help a team become high performing,
Yeah.
or higher performing than they are today, right? It's to help the organization improve. It's not to beat people up, right? And it's
Yeah.
not to train problem children. That's not what it's for.
Yeah. Yeah. Bryan, thank you so much for sharing this. It's been great.
Yeah, sure, anytime. And I talked about the Dojo Consortium. That is an organization that's ongoing. If anybody wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn about the Dojo Consortium, or there's the Dojo Consortium organization on LinkedIn, you can reach out to us, and we can get you involved in the Slack organization, and have an ongoing conversation about how to improve your organization.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you so much, Bryan.
Sure. Thanks, Tom.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. On behalf of Bryan Finster, I am Tom Henriksen for the DevOps Online Summit.